I think about women like Anna King, who came into this whole thing ready to testify for what happened to her as a Jane Doe. And because of Lamisha Fuller, Adria English, Courtney Burgess, and Ariel Mitchell, she was forced out of her Jane Doe status and then attacked. Real life. If it ain't real life,
If it ain't real life, just say real life street stars. You know what time it is.
I tell you what I do know. Punch is very loyal to the Jigga Man. You know, and just the way they've been using Dochi as a plant. You know, it was so funny. There's this guy that the Lulista or whatever his name is, and he was sitting there trying to convince everybody that Dochi's not a plant because she works so hard and she's been around for so long and she's not some overnight sensation. And that's how you know you were paid to do that piece, because all plants don't have overnight success. I can think of a group right now that's an excellent example of a hip hop plant.
What's that?
They're called the Roots. You know, I used to be a part of that band. They worked very hard. They worked super hard. And we were all so committed to the culture and so committed to music and so committed to our communities and doing the right thing and using music to do the right thing and creating all of this good love. And guess what? Passed over, kept getting passed over, kept getting passed over, kept getting passed over until you got me. And they've been lining people up and up careers ever since. You know, Carlos Santana, almost 3 decades he got passed over, and then he made the choice. And then he sat next to Wyclef Jean and Maria, and then all of a sudden he was a star. You know, all of his people laughed at him and they passed him over and passed him over. It was Richard Nichols who really got me to understand that. And I never really understood what Rich meant when he told me it was time to make the sacrifice, because all of this couldn't be for nothing. I didn't realize. But when I saw that pumpkin, that witchcraft pumpkin, in his bedroom that day, and I knew I was never walking back in that house, and I knew I could no longer allow him to have complete control and autonomy over my career, because clearly we believed in two different things, you know.
I mean, it could have been
So funny.
Halloween.
Huh?
It could have been Halloween.
No, it wasn't Halloween. It was the summertime.
Wow.
It was a pumpkin that was a candle, and it had hair in it. It had eggshells in it and a bunch of weird in it. And it was nowhere near October. I was there hanging out with Pedro when I came into the room to check on him. It was really weird. Mercer's mom pretending to be their maid, and then the second that they got married, she quit, and that was just the end of that. You know, it's one thing to have somebody tell you that they're an atheist. But what I've really come to learn is that people that say that they're an atheist, they do believe in something. It's just not God. It's something else. See, that's where people really get it fucked up. Just because you don't believe in God don't mean you don't believe in something. You do. You being ran by that, you being driven by that, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. You know, that's the problem with the game. All that witchcraft, all of those optical illusions, all of that seduction. They make it all look so nice until you realize that you don't get to walk away from it. You got to trick other people into being down with it in order to stay where you are, reach higher. This is what y'all fighting for? Because, see, when I see people outside of a courtroom stripping down in their clothes and throwing baby oil all over themselves. I think about every artist that I know that died from suspicious means, which I wish it had proper investigation. See, when I look at all of that, I think about all of the girls who I know got passed around on video shoots who will never come forward. I think about women like Anna Kane, who came into this whole thing ready to testify for what happened to her as a Jane Doe. And because of Lamisha Fuller, Adria English, Courtney Burgess, and Ariel Mitchell, she was forced out of her Jane Doe status and then attacked and maligned.
Oh, she was forced out of that status.
Yeah, Anna Kane would have been able to stay a Jane Doe if it weren't for Lamisha Fuller. Lamisha Fuller had garnered over 8 million views pretending to be a Diddy survivor, spouting movie scenes from Blink Twice and alleging that Garfield had actually joined in one of her gang rapings. She accused me of being her driver. She accused Natanya Rubin of doing things to her in her own home, someone that she had never met, never seen. Um, Lamisha Fuller sat here. Oh, and by the way, this is a person that has ties to Yellow Beezy and his little trap house. Oh, but he's Rock Nation. Um, it's really wild. Yeah, that little goofy. There's so much lying online, insisting that she was the girl in the D and G shirt. Anna Kane had to give up her Jane Doe status just to prove she was the real person. People running around talking about Allie Carter and why wasn't Allie Carter at the trial. Meanwhile, Allie Carter's going live saying that the jurisdiction was why she couldn't uh, 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 why she couldn't testify at the Diddy trial. Isn't that funny? Because federal jurisdiction is the entirety of the United States. What was it that Ali Carter said a week ago? See, the crime that happened to her, it happened in California, and the court, the trial was in New York, so that's why she couldn't be there. But Cassie testified in New York, and the videotape that we saw that came from LA as well. So how did Cassie get to testify and not Ali Carter? If it was a jurisdictional issue.
Mm.
They, they, they don't even bother to educate themselves before they get online and lie.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Stars, nigga. Move. Hey.